Today is Wednesday, February 7th, and I'm just wondering if you'd like to take a walk back in time for some weird and wacko sports notes.
And now, a word from our title sponsor.
Are all financial advisors fiduciaries? Fewer than you think. Not knowing could reduce your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Mitch Kramer, founder and CEO of Fluent Financial. A fiduciary is a regulatory term to reduce conflicts of interest in wealth management. A fiduciary always works in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor might put their compensation or company ahead of yours. At Fluent Financial, we are certified financial planners acting as fiduciary advisors. To learn more, go to fluentfinancial.com or Fluent Financial's YouTube channel.
Now, you listening may not be in charge of purchasing seasonings for your home, but you do know what tastes good, really good. Goodness steak seasoning is great. Use it on, obviously, steak, chicken, veggies, or goodness knows what else. No sugar, no MSG, no gluten, but great flavor. Get Goodness Steak Seasonings by going to bringthetasty.com. That's bringthetasty.com.
Hey y'all, Jason Bevo here with Oh Hail Contractors. I've been in the business for a little over a decade, and one thing I really enjoy doing is serving people. I want to see things made new again, and I can help you through that process by making the insurance claims process understandable and almost easy, believe it or not. Also, I can give you great suggestions on the best roofing system and even ventilation for your home, which ultimately makes your shingle last a little bit longer, even in Texas. Who do you know that wants that level of service? So, if you'd like some help with that, you can call me at 972-567-5766 or find me at ohhail.com, and that's OHHHAIL.com.
A quick note before we start. Next week, we'll be doing another question and answer session. So if you'd like to get some questions in, we'll answer about 10 of them on the podcast. Send them to @Norm's Clubhouse. @Norm's Clubhouse. Next week, we'll have another question and answer session. Okay, let's go back in sports history. On 1954, February the 2nd, that would be 70 years ago, Bevo Francis became the all-time king. Bevo played for Rio Grande Valley. He was 6'9". He was the best player in Rio Grande Valley and that level of college basketball. 3 weeks prior to this date, Bevo had poured in, are you ready for this? 116 points in one game against Ashland. But because Ashland was an NAIA school, college basketball refused to recognize his record. So, 3 weeks later, February 2nd, 1954, Bevo poured in an unbelievable 113 points against Hillsdale, 43 in the first half, 39 in the last 10 minutes of the game because Bevo's teammates wanted to get him the ball. For the night, Bevo scored 113, and everybody else in his team scored 21, and they just wiped out poor little Hillsdale. Alas, this is about the last time we ever hear of Clarence Clark Bevo Francis because his skills didn't translate to the NBA level. Let's go to February 4th, 1971. That's 53 years ago last Sunday. It was 24 years after Jackie Robinson had broken the so-called color line in baseball as the first black player. And on this date, 53 years ago, Bowie Kuhn announces that the Hall of Fame would have a separate section for the old stars of the Negro Leagues. You can imagine how that went over. Blacks who'd felt unequally recognized all these years, and by the way, loads of white baseball fans too, they just protested loudly. Well, it didn't take Bowie Kuhn very long to relent and say the front doors of the Hall of Fame would be open to the great black stars of the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Let's go to February 5th, 1978. Have you ever wondered, have you watched NBA games and think to yourself, geez, they can't make free throws? Yeah, you've said that. I've said that. But everybody who watches basketball has said that. Well, on this date, 46 years ago, February 5th, 1978, a basketball nut named Fred Martin of San Jose, California, makes 88 consecutive free throws. Now, that's pretty good, but you're saying, wait a minute, 88 in a row, that's okay, but is that much of a feat? I mean, it is when you make the 88 in a row blindfolded. And finally, it's 1936, February 8th. Yes, this will be 86 years ago tomorrow. It's the first NFL draft ever. And the first player ever taken at number 1 is University of Chicago running back Jay Berwanger, who, by the way, was also that season the first recipient of the Heisman Trophy. There's one problem here. Philly drafts Jay Berwanger number 1, and Berwanger, University of Chicago, pretty smart. Berwanger says, I don't want to play pro football. I can make a lot more money in the business world. So he never plays for Philadelphia. Well, Philadelphia then says, hey, I'll bet you he'd play if we trade him to Chicago. And the Bears make a trade for Jay Berwanger. And the Bears say, come on, you went to the University of Chicago, play for us. And Jay Berwanger said, no, I don't want to play pro football. You know, with the money they're paying these days, I don't think this is ever going to happen again.
Today's episode has been brought to you by Fluent Financial, by Oh Hell Roofing, and by Goodness Steak Seasoning.
Just Wondering is a production of DSP Media for FanStream Sports. You can find Norm's show along with other great programming at fanstreamsports.com.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Just Wondering. If you enjoyed it, please hit follow. Then each episode every weekday will be delivered straight to you. And if we might ask one more favor, please share it with friends. I'm Norm Hitzges, and every day I'll be just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitchkus, and I'm just wondering too.